Have you experienced a dip in your milk supply during or immediately after an illness? When you're sick, especially if you've had a fever, excessive sweating, vomiting, or diarrhea, these symptoms can all exacerbate dehydration and you may notice a temporary decrease in your milk supply. I know firsthand how stressful this can be, so today I'm going to discuss some different strategies to help you boost your supply after an illness. Hey, I'm Courtney, a pediatric feeding therapist, international board certified lactation consultant, and mom. I strive to provide the most up-to-date, evidence-based information to help you meet your feeding goals. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the little bell to get notified whenever I post new videos. The number one thing that's going to help boost your supply is getting back on track with your nutrition and hydration. When we're sick and our body is fighting off an infection, our resources are being used up really quickly. In addition to that, our appetite is typically lower and we're just not fueling our body the way that we normally do. Adding in some superfoods like oatmeal, green leafy vegetables, nuts, quinoa, brown rice, and avocados can really help get your energy back on track. You're also going to want to nurse or pump frequently. I know when you're sick, sometimes you get separated from baby to heal, which means baby may have been supplemented with a feed at a time when you just weren't feeling that great and you weren't removing milk from your breast. This communicates to your body that it does not need to produce that milk that was left behind in your breast, so your body may have actually done some down regulating during this time. What this means now is we need to work a little bit harder to build that supply back up and demand more frequently from our breast to communicate that we need to make more milk. If you are directly nursing baby, allow them to nurse more often, even during non-nursing times. This can be especially helpful if you notice that baby's been getting a little bit more frustrated because of a slower flow at the breast. Essentially, what you're going to be doing is offering them smaller snacks more frequently while you build your supply back up. Next, I'm going to advise you to stimulate by pumping after you feed. The most efficient way to do this is with a double electric breast pump, but if all you have available to you is a manual pump, or say you don't have any pump available to you at all, but you have your hands for hand expression, any amount of additional stimulation during this time is going to be helpful. Hands-on pumping can also really help empty the breast. This means massaging around your breast while you're pumping. Remember to be gentle. We don't want any firmer pressure than what you would use to, say, pet a cat. You can end each pumping session by single pumping each breast. What this is going to do is it's going to provide all of the power from the pump onto one breast at a time while you focus on doing some hand massage to help empty your breast as much as possible. If you do need to supplement, you could consider using a supplemental nursing system at breast. I will say that these can be pretty cumbersome, and in my professional experience, most families can only tolerate using them for a short duration of time. However, I did want to mention them here because they are an option and some families are willing to do whatever they need to keep baby at breast. If you do need to use a supplemental nursing system, I would highly recommend working with a lactation consultant just to provide you with some tips and tricks to using it, as well as when to wean off of it. Essentially, the SNS consists of a tube that brings your express breast milk or formula from a container to your nipple. So that way, while baby is nursing and stimulating your breast, they're also receiving their supplemental feed. And finally, if your healthcare provider is okay with you taking some sort of supplementation, there are herbs, foods, and beverages on the market that have been said to boost low milk supply. These are known as galactagogues. Many of the supplements have been used for centuries to boost low milk supply, but I will say that there is little or no scientific evidence for their efficacy and safety. It's also important to note here that herbal preparations are not standardized. They can have possible contaminants, allergic potentials, and drug interactions. I just thought this was important to mention here because there are products on the market, and if you're Googling how to boost low milk supply, you're going to run across them, and I want you to be safe. I will link one product in particular that was created by a lactation consultant in the description below if you did want to look into this. But I want to reiterate here that it's really important to check with your healthcare provider before taking any sort of supplementation. If you've done all these steps and after 7 to 10 days you're still concerned about your milk supply, I would highly recommend speaking with your healthcare provider and a lactation consultant to receive more individualized support and help. I hope this video has been helpful in providing you with some techniques to try to boost your milk supply after you've recovered from your illness. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below so I can receive feedback from you or direct you to other resources that may be helpful. If you have a friend who is currently struggling with a dip in their milk supply after an illness, please send them this video. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.